Maybe you've had this experience where, somebody hurts you in some way, does you wrong. Maybe somebody you don't see eye to eye with. And there's just this feeling that maybe starts to grow in you that you just hope something bad will happen to that person. I think the name for that feeling is called vengeance. And it's kind of an ugly feeling because it leads to some pretty bad things. And I've certainly experienced it myself where if I'm honest with myself, I just hope that something bad happens to this person. Now, let's say that you see something good happen to this person instead. We might even start to feel sadness or grief at something good that has happened in the life of another person. It's sort of a form of envy. And again, it's not a very pretty experience. Social media preys on these feelings of vengeance that we have. So a lot of social media is meant to build and increase that vengeance. So you might see videos where the other side, whatever the other side is for you, is destroyed, or the other side is embarrassed, or the other side loses. And on the other hand, we see something where the other side, whoever that is, if something good happens to them, if they have a win, like that can really cause us to feel sad and maybe even angry. Well, I think this month's word of life can help. Jesus, in the word of life, he is speaking about God's way of seeing the enemy rather than our way. As a setup, Jesus is surrounded by sinners and tax collectors. They are coming to Jesus because they find in Jesus a welcome. They find in Jesus forgiveness. They find in Jesus a home. And so these sinners and these tax collectors are coming to him. And watching this happen is this group of Pharisees. And they see these sinners and tax collectors, and maybe they are feeling vengeance and maybe grief that it seems like something good is happening to them. And so they start to complain. And that's when Jesus tells this parable of the lost sheep. And he ends it with this line. It's this month's word of life. Jesus says, "Rejoice with me, for I found my sheep that was lost." Rejoice. See, Jesus is capable of transforming vengeance into celebration. Celebration should be our posture when we see those people who have hurt us, who have done us wrong, the other side. We should celebrate when something good happens to them. And of course, the greatest thing that can happen to somebody is that they are brought into a greater relationship with God. If they're forgiven of their sins, like there's nothing greater than that. And so if we see our enemies being forgiven by God, welcomed by God, man, that should be such a cause for celebration. But this isn't easy. And maybe even as I'm saying this, you're thinking of somebody in your life who has hurt you in a really profound way. I can think of people like that in my own life. And when I start to think about celebrating those people, if something good happens, it's really hard. But, this is where we can really rely on God's grace, because grace allows us to go beyond human feelings and human reactions and can bring us into something even divine. So maybe we'll just encourage you this month with a community of people, with some friends. If there's that person in your life that you would complain about if you saw them with Jesus, like whoever that person is, that's the person to bring to others, to bring to God, and to ask for that change of heart, that transformation of the heart, that any kind of vengeance for the other side, whoever that might be, any kind of vengeance would be changed into celebration, and that we could rejoice with Jesus and with all the angels and with our Heavenly Father at the conversion of those who so desperately need it. And that includes us. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to keep up with other great content to help you live your life of unity with God and with one another, make sure you subscribe to Focolare Media so that you can continue to live your divine adventure.